Judy Human is a disability rights activist who has dedicated her life to fighting for the inclusion of people with disabilities in mainstream society. She contracted polio as a child and was denied access to public schools because of her disability. This experience inspired her to become an activist, and she went on to play a key role in the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. She has also served as the Special Advisor for International Disability Rights at the U.S. Department of State. Throughout her career, Human has been a fierce advocate for disability rights and has worked to break down barriers and increase access and inclusion for people with disabilities. She has served as the director of World Institute on Disability and has worked with the United Nations to promote disability rights globally. In recognition of her work, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama in 2010.
Wangari Maathai was an environmental and political activist from Kenya who founded the Green Belt Movement, an organization that helped plant over 50 million trees in Kenya and empowered women through environmental conservation. She was the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004 for her work on sustainable development, democracy, and peace. She also served as a member of the Kenyan Parliament and as the Assistant Minister for Environment and Natural Resources. Maathai's work with the Green Belt Movement was revolutionary in its approach to environmental conservation and women's empowerment. She recognized that environmental degradation and poverty were closely linked, and that planting trees and conserving natural resources could improve both the environment and people's lives. She also understood that women were key to this work, and that empowering them would have a ripple effect on families and communities. In addition to her environmental work, Maathai was a vocal advocate for human rights and democracy in Kenya and around the world. She was arrested several times for her activism, but never gave up her fight for justice and equality.
Irina Sandler was a Polish social worker who saved the lives of 2,500 Jewish children during the World War II by smuggling them out of the Warsaw Ghetto. She and her network of colleagues, who became known as the Sandler's List, risked their life to rescue children from a ghetto and place them with non-Jewish families. He was eventually arrested by the Gestapo and sentenced to death, but managed to escape and continue her work until the end of the war. Sandler's bravery and selflessness in the face of extreme danger and oppression are truly inspiring. She risks her life every day to save the lives of others, and her actions demonstrate the power of compassion and courage in the face of evil. Despite the risk, she remained committed to her mission and never wavered in her belief that every life was worth saving.
Bayard Rustin was a civil rights activist and organizer who played a key role in the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." Rustin was an advocate for non-violent protest and was instrumental in the success of the civil rights movement. He was also a vocal advocate for gay rights and worked as a political strategist for various causes throughout his life. Rustin's contribution to the civil rights movement were often overshadowed by his sexuality and his involvement in leftist politics, but his impact was profound. He was a key strategist and organizer, and his work was instrumental in bringing about major civil rights victories, including the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Dolores Huerta is a labor leader and civil rights activist who co-founded the United Farm Workers with Cesar Chavez in 1962. She played a key role in the American labor movement and fought for the rights of farm workers, immigrants, and women throughout her career. She also served as the president of the United Farm Workers Foundation and founded the Dolores Huerta Foundation to promote social justice and equality. Huerta's contribution to the labor movement and the fight for social justice cannot be overstated. She was a tireless organizer and advocate who worked to empower some of the most marginalized and vulnerable members of society. Her work with the United Farm Workers helped bring about major labor reforms and better working conditions for farm workers, and her advocacy on behalf of immigrants and women has inspired generations of activists.
Edward Snowden is a former National Security Agency contractor who leaked classified information about the agency's surveillance programs in 2013. His actions sparked a major debate about privacy, government surveillance, and civil liberties, and he has been hailed by some as a hero and condemned by others as a traitor. Snowden currently lives in exile in Russia and continues to advocate for privacy and transparency. Snowden's decision to leak classified information was a bold and controversial act, but it also shed light on a crucial issue that affects us all. His revelations about the extent of government surveillance sparked a much-needed conversation about privacy and civil liberties, and his actions have inspired others to speak out against government overreach and abuse of power.
Fannie Lou Hamer was a civil rights activist who fought for voting rights and equal treatment under the law for African Americans. She was a key figure in Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party and helped organize the Freedom Summer Campaign in 1964. Despite facing violence, intimidation, and harassment, Hamer remained steadfast in her commitment to justice and equality. Hamer's contribution to the civil rights movement were immense, and her legacy continues to inspire generations of activists. She was a powerful voice for change and a champion for those who had been silent and marginalized by systematic racism and oppression. Her courage and resilience in the face of extreme adversity are a testament to the human spirit and the power of hope.
Vera Rubin was an astronomer who made groundbreaking discoveries about dark matter, a mysterious substance that makes up a significant portion of the universe's mass but cannot be directly observed. Her work challenged the prevailing theories of the time and paved the way for a new understanding of the universe. Rubin was also a strong advocate for more women in science and was committed to promoting diversity and equity in the field. Rubin's contribution to the field of astronomy were revolutionary and have had a lasting impact on our understanding of the universe. Her discoveries about dark matter opened up new avenues of research and challenged our assumptions about the nature of the cosmos. She was also a tireless advocate for diversity and inclusion in science, and her work has inspired many women and underrepresented groups to pursue careers in STEM fields.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe it today.
That's it for today.
Bye for now.